Chairman, and might I add, cameras are on today, and this is probably one of the most civil committees there are in the House of Representatives. I appreciate each of your testimonies, and it's fascinating and fantastic to hear your thoughts. And Dr. Lee, your perspectives are unique but well received by this committee and other members too. We've heard similar thoughts and concerns about how the institution operates because of potential theater that might occur, and maybe it's not intentional. It's just nature that, and instincts that take over in a political environment. Mr. Schuman, if I could just ask you maybe to dig a little deeper in some of your ideas. Those are really neat ideas, and you make them sound very simple, and I imagine they are simple because you say technology can fix this. And you mentioned one as it relates to amendments and how it interacts, and just say we're in a process, and that you should be able to click on an amendment in an electronic format and see how it fits into a piece of legislation, potentially have the impact. In addition to that, I assume you were referencing that when a bill is being proposed, that being able to see how that proposed language fits in to existing language, what's being eliminated and what's being added. We don't have that benefit today, and I think you're touching on that. Maybe you could just dig a little deeper into that, and then, Mr. Reeves, if you could help us understand what are the barriers to that kind of simple technology or ability to see this kind of interface or interaction of policy mashing together. What prevents that from happening? What direction do you need, or does an office need to implement, and where does that come from? Does it mean laws have to change, or is it direction from leadership and such? We're trying to learn how to implement unique ideas into the process. Mr. Schuman, if you want to dig in a little deeper than Mr. Reeves, and how would we implement such a thing?
So I have good news for you, which is that the House is currently trying to build exactly this system, where you can see how an amendment would change a bill and how the bill would change the law in real time. There's a number of complexities that arise in how legislation is drafted. You have to go and look at, if this bill says go to this other bill and strike line 27, insert the following, a machine needs to be able to understand that, and that is complex to do. That there are issues that arise with the way the U.S. Code is. Some of it is law, some of it's not law. You have to look at it gets weedy pretty quick, but the good news is that this is something that the Clerk's Office and others, the Office of Law Revision Counsel, have already been working on. And I'd love to go more into it, but I think Mr. Reeves might be able to speak to it better than I can.
I think the project we're talking about is the POSI comparative print.
Yeah, it's POSI, but it's also the Amendment Impact Program. Yeah.
So as Daniel says, we are currently working on this. We're working on phase 2, which we started last August. Phase 2 will be complete in August of this year, and then phase 3 would be complete August of 2020. The intent at the end is to provide a tool that would allow members, staff, to do document comparisons, amendment to document comparisons, by executing this tool, and have confidence that the tool is giving them a good representation of what the changes would be. As Daniel said, one of the things that we're working on now is the building the engine that's going to interpret the instructions to compare the bills. So it needs to be, and my understanding from talking to our folks is right now we're in the 90% range that we believe that we have confidence in the tool, but it needs to be higher. And so we're looking to continue to move to make this tool available. Today it is available, but it's available only to the Office of Ledge Counsel and I believe the Rules Committee. And so they have the ability to do some of these comparisons and provide responses back, but it requires an attorney to sit there to make decisions that we're trying to automate. And so it takes time, and it becomes a bottleneck within the Office of Ledge Counsel if there's too many requests to do it and there's just not enough time for them to do it in a timely manner.
So it's in process, still a little ways away, what
Yes.
the proposals you're working on. How difficult is it for members to receive, let's say somebody introduces a piece of legislation and it says strike subsection 10A. Why don't we see what that language is that's stricken? All we see is the word strike section 10A. Is that difficult to do? And is that, how do we implement that? Or is that what you're, and I'm talking about not in digital format now, I'm just talking about on paper, old technology.
Well, my understanding of the way the tool is going to work is that you'll be able to see the old and the new side by side. So you're going to be able to see what there was and what the action was and what the new bill is going to look like.
And that's not available today in paper format? You're working on it in digital format, is that correct?
Well, we're working on it in digital format, but it can be printed. And again, to a degree, some of that is available today through the Office of Legislative Counsel.
Okay. Thank you each.